All right, everyone. So today we're going to listen. I haven't done a music video in a while. Today we're going to listen to Sibelius 2 Movement 4. Okay, people have videos, get ready with me, study with me. Today we're going to do listen with me to Sibelius 2 Movement 4. And my question that I'm going to try to answer is, why do people listen to this garbage? I think that this is the worst piece of music that I've ever heard. Now, I've never listened to the full symphony. I just can't do that. And I did read on Wikipedia that apparently the other themes from the other movements come back into this movement, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that this movement is garbage. Okay, and the reason why it's garbage is because this is late romantic excess. Okay, let's write that here. Why is this so zoomed in? All right, this is late romantic excess. Okay, because basically what's going to happen is we're going to be presented with one theme. Right, and basically the whole entire movement is just going to get us back to that theme. Now you say, that sounds a little like sonata movement of the classical period. Well, it's completely different. It's completely different because he's not setting us up with a set of expectations. What he essentially has is one theme, and then we're going to mutate that theme. Okay, and there are two other themes in this, but they are seemingly derived from the main theme. Oh, the lights just came on. They are seemingly derived from that main theme. So there's really nothing new. And in the classical period, and we'll talk about this as we go on, but in the classical period, and you could see about this on the video, what was that called? On Pleasure in Music that I made. It's all about the effect, the immediate effect on the listener, which is sumptuous, which is luxuriant in this case, right? There's no development. There's no sense of drama. That's Charles Rosen's word that he used to describe the classical period. There's no drama, okay? It's pure feeling, okay? Because there's no understanding, because I made this little analogy that we have the music in the Romantic period. We have the music and we have the heart, essentially, okay? And it's direct music to the heart, right? Or to the ears, whatever. And that's romantic. Okay, that's romantic. Now, in the classical period, really, to appreciate this music, we must understand form. And the way we do that is we go music. Okay, I don't know why this is going. I've done this better. Music, and then to the intellect. And then that beams back. It's almost like a little satellite. That beams back to the heart because, the classical period's music is not as pleasing on immediate apprehension as this. I'll give you that. It doesn't take you away in the same way. But when you connect it to the intellect, when you understand form, when you understand chords, when you understand tension and release, okay, then it affects you way more than this stuff ever does. Because this, if you really stop to think about it, right, we almost put the intellect here. If you really start to think about this music, if you use the intellect, it doesn't touch you anymore because you see right through its tricks. So I have a little card here, and we're going to use this card that I wrote to follow along to this awful movement. I'm going to comment along the way. Okay, so let's start. This is Bernstein. It's a good recording, I think from '69 or something. But anyway, let's listen to it. Here we go. There's our theme. So it's stated. It's in the lower instruments, right? A little loud. Wish I had better speakers, but I don't for right now. Little change right there. And then we're going to get to this, what I call false crescendo, because we're not going to get to that theme. We didn't get there. We went back down. A little depression. And then we go to this real crescendo. This is dragged out. Okay? Now notice there's been only one piece of thematic material so far. There we go. Explosion occurred. You can see a conductor waving his arms around. Garbage. It's garbage. We're going to need a little more because we're going to hear it again. We need to restate the theme. Blah, 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 blah. Now people, are so taken by this, they're in their seats, just, getting completely enraptured. We have a little extension Okay, maybe I should draw a little something right here. The brass conclusion. Now listen, what I really want you to listen to, where we're about to go, okay, is what's going to happen is there's going to be a resolution, a complete resolution. What that means, that's why I've written one right here, is that this is complete. Okay, we had the little introduction of our lower theme, false crescendo. We have the restatement of the theme. Okay, now you must understand how thematic this is. This is not based on chords. Okay, this is not based on a movement or chord progression. It really is a theme. Okay, hallmark of the Romantic period. This is a theme. Okay, and in this brass conclusion, and he's going to try to get away from it, but it does come to a rest on what I would think is the one chord, right? And then we immediately go into the second section. Okay, so let's hear that. Listen for that resolution. Here we go. We're here. Right there. And then we're going to go into this flute section, right? So basically, Sibelius, and this is what I'm going to say, why do people listen to this garbage? Sibelius has said all he's going to say. He said all he's going to say, right? Because if you remember in sonata form, you can check out my video, Sonata Form Explained, right? In sonata form, we're given a second theme, which is unresolved, because it's in the 5, it's not in the tonic, right? So thus even though we repeat the exposition in sonata form, we are still left hanging, okay? We still need to keep listening in order to get our full resolution. If we don't keep listening, we're actually, we're stopping the story in the middle of the narrative. We're not getting to conclusion. But Sibelius has said all he needs to say, and it's not very much. It's not very much, right? Because we're given the theme in the lower, we're given the theme in the higher. The crescendo, it kind of works, it's they just build a crescendo based on pure feeling, okay? It's like, it's building our anticipation. We know what's coming, okay? We know what's coming. And the longer this is dragged out, the more anticipatory it becomes. Okay, well, guess what? That can get real tiresome. Okay, because we're not being met with true chordal activity. We're not being met with true expectations. Oh, are we going to move a theme? Are we going to develop a theme? Are we going to change a chord? No, it's just a crescendo. It reminds you of that other awful piece of music, Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet Overture, which is pure affect as well. Pure affect. All right, so now we're going to go into the second part, and really, there's going to be a theme right here that's highly derivative. Okay, but really they're just gonna throw around the material we just heard and then lead us into that theme restated. So let's go. So we're breaking the theme down right now. Boom, boom, boom. It's dissolving, essentially. Keeping. And he's even tricking us with those little crescendos. It's very cheap. It's just cheap. And it's pretty. It's pretty. No one can deny this is pretty. Okay. What are we supposed to be listening to here? All right, now we're going to go. Okay, so now we've started, I should stop here. We've started this thing where we're gonna keep this constant low string motion, we're gonna keep it going. Now, if you know Sibelius' music, the only other piece of Sibelius I know is the 4th movement of his 5th symphony, and the same exact thing happens. He presents it lower, he presents it higher, right? Again, just sumptuous stuff. And then he breaks it down, and I think it's with the oboe, with the winds, that he does this continual motion. Here he's chosen the low string, so the symphony number 2, obviously, this is before symphony number 5. So now we're going to get teasing. I call them teasing because we're going to tease the main theme over these low strings. So this is fake again, whereas in the classical period we actually heard true development of themes, okay, true drama, true morphing of themes. All we're going to hear now is teasing of the main theme. We have debased ourselves to simply teasing the ear of the listener, because we know we're going to come back to this, not because we need to come back to that main theme, because we don't, because we've said all we need to say, but simply because we want to hear it, the prettiness again. That's the only reason the 14 minutes this music has occurred, because it's just pretty. Okay, so we're here. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, we're teasing it. We teased it. Maybe his bass clarinet, not oboe, but whatever. Up. Okay, so there's our theme, right? So we teased it, right? And then we're gonna get a kind of a new theme, but it's still very closely related. And it may be from the other movements, but I don't really know that. I don't really care, to be honest with you. Oh, there's the bum, 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 bum. Very similar. And this is just gonna continue until the brass come in. It's very tiresome because nothing's actually happening. Okay, that's our theme. Now we're gonna get another theme down here. Like we've heard this enough, you know what I mean? Bum bum. Like we're just teasing the a little major in there, right here. That dun 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 dun, that's gonna come back to this low string reprise. We're gonna get the same thing with that. This is just suspension of strings. So we essentially have two themes. You call it 1 and 2, and then of course this is our main theme right up here. That's gonna come back. Again, there's like no material. Sounds a little Romeo and Juliet-esque there. Oh, the flute's gonna tease us. This is so boring. Oh, you know, you want him to break out into fugue or something, right? What did I write here? Low wind tease. So yeah, the low winds tease, and then strings are gonna just alternate teasing. That almost sounds like Sibelius 5 right there. This is just garbage. So now they take their time with this little theme 1. You know, of course, this theme's always lingering. There's no pulse, obviously. This is static. This is pure static, right? And the only reason you like this is because you've turned your mind off and you're just hearing the pretty music. Theodore Adorno was right. This is it. This is the end. This is the end right here. If we're gonna accept this as real music, it's over. Music's over. Oh, now the low strings. Now they're teasing us with some crescendo, okay? Because that's really the only, when we've sacrificed true chord progressions, true harmonic tension, the only thing we can do to create tension is this empty chromaticism, okay? Because we've sacrificed real ways of creating drama, real intelligible ways of creating drama. Now we're just appealing to pure feeling. This is so bad. I mean, this is garbage. This is garbage. This is beneath. Look how bad this just sucks. I'm sorry. This is so bad. How does an adult listen to this? I think we're here. Bass, I forget. Oh, where did we hear that before? Okay, we're like here. That's gonna come back down here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we're just passing that around the orchestra. Yep, again, we're passing this around. And we have this constant crescendo because that's our only way to build dramatic tension. Oh, we know what's coming, don't we? I feel so awful listening to this garbage. Oh my. Here we go. Right? Even the crescendo's mocking, teasing the first theme. There we go. Up, yep. So we heard those notes up here. Or sorry, that same string crescendo. We've heard those notes before in building the crescendo of the first explosion. Oh my gosh, we've literally been crescendoing since this. Okay, we've really been crescendoing since there. I'm like sleeping. There we go. And there's just some eighth notes. Dun, 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 the eighth notes going on. Same exact thing as we got up here. It's really just a repetition. I mean, you could call this like an awful rondo, right? But there are only 2 repetitions of A in that case, or 1 repetition 2 times of A. So this is a formless mess. Now we've been through 7 minutes. 7 minutes of this already. Okay, and what information have we got? Nothing. We've stayed absolutely static with this. We've stayed absolutely static. Now you may say, well, why do you like Baroque music so much? Why do you like Handel? Why do you like Bach? Why is that acceptable? Isn't that pretty static? Now, of course, they don't have the forms. They don't have sonata form. They don't have the different forms that really took hold in the classical period. But that music's not static. Okay, it does constantly move, but not with empty crescendos. You know what I mean? I think of the beauty of a movement like Brandenburg 1, for example, is when it's constantly moving, everything flows into each other so nicely. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's in a way it's pleasingly disorienting because you can't predict what's going to happen next with the regularity of a classical piece, right? But still, it's very connected. Okay, and you're not just repeating the same. You're not just repeating the same material, and if you are repeating material very closely, as in a fugue or something, it's not going to be to this exact tune, and it's not going to be teasing. Bach doesn't tease you in fugues, you know what I mean? He transforms his material, okay? And also, I should mention here, Schoenberg's concept of developing variation, which is when you take a theme, okay, and you morph it into another one in kind of progressive, we called Brahms the progressive, I think that was the essay, a progressive theme and variation, okay? Now, we are so far from that here, because we're not really getting true variation. We're getting teasing. This is coquettish music, okay? This is not even, it's like a fairy, running in the woods, and you're playing hide and seek, like Echo and Narcissus or something like that. This isn't real music. Anyway, so we're here. And I just let this, I didn't write this out. Again, the same exact, look, we're right here. Oh my God. How can anyone seriously listen to this stuff? Oh man, this is awful. That's what I mean, the cause of ba, 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 ba. I guess that's building tension. We're artificially building, we're not, oh, here we go. Again, we have to hear this theme. Deny this is like nice to listen to, and I'm not denying that. What I'm denying is that there's nothing he does with that. We've heard it like 7 times now, counting these lower theme sections. Dun, dun, dun. All right, again we're going to end the piece, by the way. Oh, sorry, forgot the cameras there. Oh boy. All right, we're here now. So this is our like B of the rondo. Just like this, there's really no point. I think that probably is in another movement. This is just awful. If you stop to think about this music for a second, it loses all its allure. He's counting on the audience being completely dumb, essentially, and refusing to think about the music that they're hearing. All right, so now we're gonna hear this again, and we're gonna get the dun 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 dun. Yeah. Tease. That's even a crescendo in a way, right? Because it's chromatic. Sorry, we're not getting the da 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 da. We're getting this theme. Sorry, I misspoke. We're gonna just pass this back and forth. We've done this before, this string and wind alternation. Dun, 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 dun. Like, what purpose does this serve? We are so static. Like, we are so static right now. I'm bored out of my mind. Okay, so I think we're waiting for the string theme right now. Yep. So we're here, and then we're gonna get the brass, and then it's gonna end finally. There's really no point. Again, there's no predicting what's going to happen with this because he set us no expectations. So theoretically, we could go through this whole thing again, have this, the whole thing, and then do like another whole rondo section. Now the oboes and clarinets have joined in with the, we are firmly in string theme. Because essentially, as audience members who are overly pleased by this music, all this is doing is creating tension, not harmonic tension, just it's chronological tension. Okay, it's just creating a tension because the longer we are kept away from the main theme, which has pleased us so much, the more we want it. Okay, so what Sibelius is trying to do is almost have us reach our breaking point to where we just need to hear that sumptuous theme again, and then he gives it to us, right? He's dangling a carrot, and then he lets us eat the carrot once in a while, and then he doesn't. You know what I mean? This is infantile music. I forgot that this is this long. Oh my gosh, haven't we heard this enough? It's like the end of the Simon and Garfunkel song, The Boxer. It's just we're adding more instruments on top of it. I'd rather listen to that song than this, I'll tell you. I feel less cheated. Come on, oh my gosh. See, he's testing us because he knows we want to hear what we want to hear, which is just this pretty theme he's cooked up. This is simply not music. This is simply not music. Theodore Adorno said something like, oh, here we go. Oh, yep, we're there. We've heard that before. We know we got to be getting to the end, right? All right, we're getting to the end. We're varying at the ba ba da ba 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 ba. The theme in the low strings. Again, this is like, now of course this is before, this is like 1960s Hollywood strings. This is cheesy. What do we call that? Icy strings, right? Here. Oh, see, okay, so I was in the car once listening to this, first time I ever listened to this. And I do, right, we're expecting that. And then what you hear, he goes, fa mi. Is that fa mi or is that? Anyway, there's a leading tone. Or sorry, not a leading tone, a tone that needs to go down. That could either be fa to mi. Well, I guess in the major case, it's probably gonna be fa to mi, right? And you hear that, it's like he's pulling out every trick in the book. You know what I mean? It's okay. That was not. I did not predict that, but when I heard that, I just felt cheated. Of course you're gonna do that to signal the end, right? Of course you're gonna go to fa. Of course that's convenient for you to create a tad bit of tension right before the end, right? Fa mi. He's gonna do it again. Like this just needs to end. This needs to end. This is so tiresome at this point. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oh, again. Fa. Oh, he did it again, the fa. Oh my gosh. This is the worst piece of music of all time. Oh my gosh. This is like 2 minutes of just elaboration of the one. Okay, come on. Come on. It's almost done. There we go. There we go. All right, that's done. Now, what do we learn from this? There was one theme presented, really. Now, we had others, but really, and this is what's so odd, is that these themes only existed to get us back to that theme. The seductiveness of this theme was so great that it overshadowed everything else. I think everyone, we have to agree with that, right? And so what I really want to, I hope you have seen with this, is that, okay, why do people listen to this garbage? Because it sounds nice, okay? And you do have to give Sibelius credit. He created some nice themes in there, okay? Pleasing to the ear, pleasing to the ear. But when we start to investigate why we listen to 14 minutes and 34 seconds of that, we really have to question ourselves. We really have to question ourselves. It would have been better, right, if this had just been the theme. Because that was about 2 minutes it took us at the top. And that's nice to listen to, right? It's almost as if this is just a justification for the first theme, right? We hear it essentially 1, 2, and then a little bit 3 times. And this just gets, there's no reason. Because we're not elaborating essentially a 5-1 pattern, okay? Because again, there has been no drama other than the cheap drama of a crescendo. And this is the same thing that Sibelius 5 movement 4 is. It's essentially a big crescendo, okay? And so we as listeners must expect better. It's what we can't listen to Sibelius. We simply cannot listen to this, okay? Because we're essentially insulting ourselves by saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna sit through 14 minutes of this just to hear this theme. Just to hear this theme about 3 times. I'm gonna sit there and listen to that. Don't do that. You don't have to do that, okay? There's so much better music out there. There's so much more dramatic music out there, okay? And what is really unfortunate about this whole thing is that for many people, this is classical music. This. You get your pretty theme. It sounds grand, okay? It's appealing to pure emotion, okay? Really, people say, oh, this is the grand classical music. It's really not. There is better pop songs that give more real, not cheap, not contrived, okay, gratification than a piece like this, okay? Someone once said, this was not Theodore Adorno, I forget who said this, Sibelius is the worst composer in the world. And that's quite possibly true because what he has done, in a way he's the best composer in the world because he shows us the emptiness of romanticism, okay? Sibelius equals the emptiness of romanticism. Okay, so think about that, and then think about all his predecessors that led to him. Okay, Tchaikovsky, another one that can just make the most pleasing melodies. Okay, but really there's no drama. There's no drama aside from those themes, And that's why Beethoven really is kind of the greatest composer of all time, right? Because he held the classical course. Okay, he held the intellectual course. you know, when all these composers, Schubert and Schumann, they were going into that romanticism. He said, no, I'm going to continue to create music. And in his later music, it got more fugal, okay, in the Hammerklavier, for example. And those weren't fugatos. You know, there's a fugato movement too of Bizet. Now, I love Bizet Symphony in C, but there is, you know, romantic elements, even though it is formally very classical. You know, we almost make a mockery of those forms. Grosse Fugue, you know, Beethoven is taking these formal elements to their extreme. And what Sibelius does, okay, is he shows us the complete end of Romanticism. It has to end here. And where do we go from here? Well, we get into the good moderns. We get into the Second Viennese School, who are already active at this period. But this is really awful. So I hope I've convinced you to not listen to this garbage, okay, to seek out better music than Sibelius, and mainly to use your intellect when you listen, okay, and really say, does this hold up when I break it down? Does this music hold up when I really think about it? If your answer is no, then find something else.